Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Taurus April 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is as far as April goes, Venus will be in Aries from the 20th until the 30th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, it could be an Aries lover maybe driving you figuratively crazy. It could be an Aries Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or perhaps someone that embodies Aries characteristics. In some isolated cases, this could be money spent on some Aries. It could be like a mental illness, such as like the intermittent explosive disorder. But those that could be very isolated. A lot of this this may just manifest in spending money rather aggressively, perhaps and with a lot, really not with a lot of hesitation, procrastination on those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the homeless, the oppressed, and the hungry. In some cases, this could be about a clandestine affair with an Aries Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that embodies Aries characteristics. It could also be about enjoying Aries things in solitude and seclusion. It could be something with welding or carpentry. It could be doing a combative sports such as judo or karate or boxing. Anything that could be Aries related. Could also be another way this may manifest. This could also be about really when you're talking about Venus and then the 12th house. I mean, this could be about restrictions and limitations and expressing sentiments and feelings of the matters of the heart. There could also be financial limitations and restrictions, perhaps due to impulsive or impetuous spending and buying. It could also be about an Aries love that might be contributing to secret sorrows at this time. Again, it could be an Aries Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or one that embodies Aries characteristics. Could also be about valuing courage and fortitude, and really and as far as helping those that are less fortunate, and also standing up, valuing being able to stand up for those people that can't help themselves. It could just be people that are just overly passive and they don't have really the best strength of character. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Gemini, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this could be about a lot of energy and vitality and diversity into making money. Could there be a result in a diversified portfolio? Perhaps in some cases it could be a diversified financial portfolio where a lot of energy could be expended on matters with that. Now, also could be putting a lot of energy and vitality into doing something Gemini related in terms of generating income, such as journalism or writing, data communications. It could be something that requires dexterity, like juggling or doing working on automobiles, auto mechanic work, refrigeration mechanic work. And it's something where mental agility, it can really be valued at this time. And also there could be a lot of dexterity in terms of generating income. Could be about putting a lot of energy into a variety of ways of making money at this time. Now, could also be where you might, where the situation perhaps with people that you generate income with might be more acrimonious and contentious than usual, or it could be over just people just being mischievous or not really being overly honest about things. It could be something too where it could be where you become angry at maybe somebody at the place where you make money that's overly mercurial or vacillating or superficial. It could be something too where a lot of this energy could be accumulating a variety of resources and possessions at this time, and you might find yourself becoming angry over harsh witticisms that are that might impact your self-worth and self-esteem. And remember, Mars can be about accidents as well. This time, energy can manifest perhaps in accidents, in injuries to the arms and the hands at that place where you're making money at this time. So anyway, and also you might find yourself really becoming more angry, perhaps over people really bothering your possessions at this time, more so than usual. So anyway, next thing up. Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, as I've talked about previously, Jupiter could be paradoxical, it could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now in some cases, this might actually expand and enlarge over exuberance and over enthusiasm, foolhardiness, over optimism, in perhaps matters might be with people you know in a shared resources situation you're connected with, or a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with, and might be the way you may be acting toward them, or maybe as far as the situation goes with them, being overly optimistic about it where you don't really maybe need to be. Positive end, though, this could be very auspicious and fortuitous for like a Sagittarius type transformation, such as something with religion or philosophy, or through sports such as working out vigorously. And also this could manifest perhaps in publishing with a lot of exuberance, something 8th house related, such as something with astrology, the supernatural, the occult, something with psychology or psychiatry, transformation, something associated with death perhaps. And also too, this could be about a lot of hope and optimism through philanthropy and shared resources situation, and also really perhaps expanding a lot of enthusiasm in terms of emotional, moral, and monetary support. And this could also be very fortuitous for that, as well as far as you receiving it, and also could be very auspicious for an inheritance perhaps at this time. And of course, a lot of this could be predicated and dependent on aspects. This makes the points in your chart. If this is something where, I mean, for example, you're going through a Jupiter return and this is happening, or if you're, say, this is making a sextile or trine to your natal Venus, or even your part of, or let's say it's conjuncts your part of fortune, or even your natal Venus, something like that. I mean, those could be examples where it could really reaffirm it, perhaps as far as something very auspicious, perhaps with an inheritance. At this time, Jupiter can be connected with prosperity. So anyway, and also too, it could be very fortuitous for really establishing a legacy about being very expansive, jocular, and jovial at this time. In some cases too, this can enlarge and expand perhaps a situation, or as far as maybe something surgical that could be Sagittarius related, such as something with the sciatic nerve or the thigh perhaps. So anyway, next thing up. Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you may be experiencing some limitations and restrictions in matters connected with long-distance journeys or publishing, and maybe with in-laws, grandchildren at this time. Could also be where you might find yourself taking care of a sickly or debilitated in-law or grandchild. It might be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, and or the joints. It might be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time. Now, on a positive end, this could be an opportune time, perhaps, for establishing, getting structure and discipline in 9th house matters, such as religion, such as perhaps higher education. It could be with your situation with in-laws, with grandchildren at this time. And also, too, and maybe even matters with publishing as well, establishing consistency. This is Saturn and Capricorn energy. And also, too, it could also manifest perhaps in taking responsibilities to 9th house matters, again, such as publishing, religion, higher education, in-laws, grandchildren. It could be traveling abroad as well. In some cases, this could be about global communications. And also, too, now you might encounter in some cases some kind of government restriction connected with publishing at this time. And also, at this time as well, another way this may manifest, this could really be about putting a lot of laborious and consistent effort into ninth house matters, such as perhaps publishing or traveling abroad, activities with in-laws, with grandchildren. It could be matters with global communications at this time as well. So anyway, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, next thing up. Well, Uranus will be in Taurus, and the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, there could be greater propensity for electric shock or some kind of nerve damage at this time. Be very careful as far as lightning goes at this time as well. If you're in some kind of environment, especially where you have a lot of frequent storms and lightning being mixed in with that, be especially prudent and cautious. And Taurus usually is, but especially so at this time. I have Uranus actually almost exactly conjunct my 6th house cusp in my natal chart, and I have very strong, extensive nerve damage to my arms and my hands, and this also makes a square to my Mercury in my natal Mercury in my chart. So I mean, you can understand perhaps that plays a role in having the nerve damage to the hands and the arms. But the point I'm making is, I mean, especially for me, like with me and people that have, something, a chart like mine that already shows a proclivity toward nerve damage. And if you're having this actually hitting your ascendant especially, then you really need to be careful at this time that you're not exacerbating some kind of shock or nerve damage, which sometimes feels like a shock sensation actually. Anyway, this could also be about perhaps adopting some kind of unusual or unorthodox appearance. You might be more unpredictable than usual on a first impression, or there might be something where people see you're very unique. And also, too, this could be about dealing with rather unusual and unpredictable, stubborn, obstinate behavior from a grandmother in some cases, or even someone prominent in your early childhood, perhaps. And also this could manifest perhaps in Taurus friendships. They could be Taurus Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus characteristics might figure more prominently in your outlook on life. It could be, it could also be your new beginnings, perhaps. It could be perhaps your appearance. And also this could be about perhaps Uranus new beginnings, which could be very, invaluable as far as making money. This could be something with astrology, for example, aerospace, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, ingenuity. So anyway, next thing up. Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this may manifest perhaps in the dissipation and dissolving in some cases of friends and acquaintances. I have this transit actually going on now. I have transit Neptune in my 11th house, and it's also intercepted. So it makes it a little bit more, this energy more exasperating, I would say, and it's more taxing and stressful and difficult for me to deal with because of this. And I'm having friends and really just they're just basically just disappearing inexplicably. I've had a number of people unfriend me on Facebook, and I don't, and the thing about it is when you have this Neptune energy, again, a lot of it can be very inexplicable. It can really be hard to understand even why these things happen, because these people, a lot of times when things like this happen, when you're having a transit like this, that you just don't even know, or what the reason behind these things are, and you don't maybe get any kind of closure about it from these people. But anyway, another way this can manifest perhaps is really on a positive end. It could be about Neptune goals and aspirations, such as something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, chemistry, pharmaceutical work, anesthesiology. anything photography, chemistry, anything that could be Neptune related. And also you might be dealing with more friends, acquaintances at this time, even stepchildren that might be more deceptive and duplicitous than usual. Guard against false or fallacious prophets that might misguide you as far as your future goes and trying to predict your future and basically telling you something that may very well not be true, and it might be promising all these positive things and auspicious things that may not even never manifest into reality. And also too, it might be a time where you might be feeling that your future might be somewhat nebulous and unclear at this time. And also, on another positive end though, this could be about a lot of self-sacrificing energy into humanitarian work at this time as well. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, some isolated cases, and might be doing some kind of covert government work overseas where you're traveling abroad. It could also be, in some cases, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Excuse me. This could be about the actual or literal death of an in-law or a grandchild, maybe someone you know well at some religious congregation or college, university. And also too, this could be about really and sometimes it could wind up, but some cases where death can occur through long distance traveling. So it's just very important just to be careful at this time, Taurus, if you're doing any long distance traveling, and the people that you're going to visit, if it's somebody that you feel you know well on the internet, it might not be a bad idea to try to investigate them, just to be extra prudent and cautious than usual. And also too, it could be a point too where terrorism might affect you traveling abroad at this time, as Pluto can be connected with terrorism. Also too, you might find yourself going through really making a major change or transformation in your religion or philosophy at this time. But also at this time, guard against perhaps some kind of coercion regarding things connected with philosophy or religion or a viewpoint, whether it's you doing that or whether you're somebody might be trying to really coerce you into adopting some kind of religion or philosophy. Some people can be very overly persistent with certain things, and you just have to really be careful at this time as far as that goes. And also too, on a positive end, this could be about taking perhaps a Pluto course in college, as a Pluto related higher education course. It could be something, for example, with insurance or psychology, studying to be a coroner, something with the occult, supernatural, or even astrology. So those are some ways that this may manifest at this time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Taurus April 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Gemini April 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.